Hey, guys, this is our friend Bob Martin from Burlington, North Carolina. We are going to do an interview with him. He speaks fluently Spanish and English. And I don't know if he speaks another language too, but he's a very smart guy. So I will let him introduce himself.
Okay, Evaristo, it's a pleasure to be here with you in your podcast. And my name is Bob Martin. I'm 71 years old and I'm a happy man.
Hey, that's true. Give me a little bit of your background, please.
Well, 71 years of background, but I was born in New York. My folks had popcorn stand and caramel popcorn and cotton candy stands in an amusement park, and the the mob actually stole all of their stores from them when I was 5. So we got a trailer and went on the road with the carnival
God.
for 6 years. And one of those years was in Mexico. That's where I learned to speak Spanish.
Oh, how about that?
How about that? So then we came back, and my father was able to get back some of the stands in the amusement park. And so I grew up between New York in the summer, selling hot dogs on the boardwalk, and Miami in the winter where I went to school. Um, I played football, American football,
How about that?
and got a football scholarship to Boston University. But I broke my ankle and I broke my heart
Yeah.
in my sophomore year because broke my ankle on the football field. And then my high school sweetheart left me
Oh,
in
God.
October, actually October 14th of 1969 at 1:40 p.m.
Oh, I hope you don't
But
have any grudge against
but
her.
who's counting? um, I um, I then I graduated from college, went on to law school, became a lawyer, worked as a lawyer in Miami during the heydays of the cocaine cowboys during the 1970s.
Wow.
And I was a prosecutor, and I worked for Janet Reno, who's a very famous prosecutor in the United States. And then I left her office and went out to work for myself as a single lawyer, and did that for a number of years, and then moved to North Carolina and became a prosecutor again, and then a private attorney again. And then in 1989, 1999, I decided I wanted to go back to school to get a master's degree in social work, because at that time I was representing criminal clients, and I hated to see that they would be arrested and charged with something and then be punished and then just go commit another crime. And so I wanted to see if I could do something to help them as people besides just being able to help them as a lawyer.
That's
So I
what
went and
great.
got a master's in social work. And then from 2001 until 2015, I did nothing but represent indigent or poor people that didn't have money for a lawyer. Um, and then I retired. And then in 2 months, Elon University asked me to come and teach at the university. And so I teach business law to business students
Oh,
in undergraduate. I don't teach law school, I teach
that's great.
undergraduate. And I'm also certified as a meditation teacher.
Okay.
So I teach a course called Mindful Leadership in the business school,
Hmm.
teaching the students how to use meditation, introspection, self-examination to become better managers.
That's great.
And that's
Good
kind
to
of
know.
what I'm doing these days.
How about that? You wrote a novel, a book, years ago, and what make you to become a writer?
Um, well, law school requires you to write a lot. And the practice of law teaches you not to waste words, although you think of legal documents as being very wordy. Um, but still, you learn to select words carefully. And um, I don't know, I just developed a knack for writing. And I was kind of the guy who, whenever any of my friends needed a letter written or a response to something, they'd ask me to edit it or to
Mm.
write it for them. And so then I started writing a column in the newspapers. And then after 9/11, after the um, attack on the Twin Towers in New York,
Okay. Yeah.
I saw that in the world, many people were running around killing in the name of God.
Hmm.
And I thought, I wonder what God would think of
Yeah.
that people were killing in God's name. So I wondered, if God became real instead of a question of faith,
Okay.
would it make anybody act differently? In other words, if God could come down and say, no, no, that's not my will, would people change their behavior?
Hmm.
So, using that question, I started to write a book, and that's what the book is about. So, I have
Great.
7 characters in the book, and the question is which one will reform, which one will repent, which one will not care. So, you
Hmm.
might ask, how did I bring God down to the earth? I did it in those streaming messages that you see on the bottom of your television screen.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
All of a sudden, messages from God started appearing there.
Okay.
And every chapter has another message from God. So that was what my novel was about.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, I remember we had a talk about pastor's point of view, and I still remember we sit down in a restaurant and over a lunch and with something and talk about. Yeah, I have great memories from Burlington, North
So
Carolina.
do I.
Yeah. Hey, how's your Spanish? ¿Cómo está tu español? ¿Está tranquilo? ¿Continúas hablando con la gente?
Sí, cuando yo llego aquí en Carolina del Norte, en este condado de Alamance, yo fui el único abogado que podía hablar español. Yo era fiscal por un rato y durante ese tiempo yo tenía que hacer la prosecución y también la traducción por los defendientes criminales y eso no era bueno.
So
Y
you
después,
still got it. You still got it. You're good Spanish. But I believe that you think more in English than in Spanish, do you?
sí, yes. When someone is speaking to me in Spanish at a moderate speed, I can understand it in Spanish. But if somebody is speaking rapidly, I have to translate because I'm not getting all the words. And so in my mind, I'm translating word by word. But if it's at a moderate pace, I can think in Spanish.
How
but
about
I can't think in Spanish quickly. It's funny.
that? Yeah, yeah. Tell me about. Look like you have a project about a new book or Taoism, something like that.
Yes,
Like,
yes. Happy
tell
to
us a little
say,
bit about that.
yeah. Well, the book, the Tao Ching, which is Qing in Chinese means a classical book, a classic book. Dao means the way, and Te means virtue. So the Tao Te Ching is the classic book of the way of virtue.
Hmm.
It is the third most published book in the world after the Bible and the Quran.
Okay.
It is the essence, I suppose, of Taoism, which is one of the three legs of Chinese philosophy.
Good.
Taoism, Confucianism, and Buddhism.
Okay.
And they're all very similar. They have different angles. Taoism is more nature oriented. Confucianism is more intellectual, and Buddhism is more emotional.
Hmm.
Um,
Interesting.
so, so the Tao Te Ching is a depository of the wisdom of Taoism, and it is in Taoism there is no necessary belief of a supernatural God or angels or demons or anything like that.
Hmm.
It is to search out and seek out the natural way of the flow of energy in the universe
Okay.
and to try to align yourself with that. When you find that you're doing things and things seem to be going well and opportunities open up to you, that's when you are living in accord with the Tao.
Hmm.
When it feels like you can't make anything happen and nothing's working for you, then chances are you are not in accord with the way of the universe.
Ah,
So, um,
interesting.
so, so I want to try to make that philosophy and that wisdom available to Christian thinkers.
Okay.
Um, the Christianity, well, the Christ, Jesus, is a wonderful teacher. And what he teaches is not any different than Taoism.
Okay.
It is the same wisdom. But many Christians feel that they have an exclusive right
Okay.
to that wisdom, and that if you don't believe in Jesus, you're not going to go to heaven, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
So I was thinking if I could take the wisdom of the Tao and interpret it into the language of Christianity, it might make the wisdom of China available to the West.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's my project. I'm trying to do that.
Great. That's good. That's a good thing. Yeah. Look like that Christianity has this thing of first when it reach out somebody, it brings to the liberty of darkness to the light. But at the same time, when you got into the light, the religious people inside the Christianity now, like they almost slave you to think just in one way. So now you have Christianity become exclusive, and there is some exclusiveness that you cannot open your mind to the holy truth, like the truth is being captured by one part of the religious world, and the rest is all untrue. When I believe that Christ is the holy truth, and everything that is in the whole world is part of that truth. because the truth is above everything. It's not a part of something. So I guess I'm pretty sure you are in a good path working on this vision, work on your book.
Mhm.
Hey, I have to stop because we have some time have to have time limit. So lately, what have you doing lately, and your view of this pandemic and of the world today? So we finish with that thought.
Well, with the pandemic, I think that here in the United States, we have great stupidity. I don't know, and I cannot understand how this question of public health has become a political question in the United States. But the difference between Democrats and Republicans in whether or not they get vaccinated or whether they wear even a mask is mind-boggling. I can't understand it. They say you can't make me wear a mask because you're infringing on my liberty. This is crazy. They take their children to get vaccines for many diseases, polio, this, that, but now to get a vaccine means you don't like Trump. This is crazy. There are 20%, 25% of the country that tomorrow could go and get a vaccine, but do not. Whereas in your country, if you could get a vaccine, you would get a vaccine. The problem is that they're not available. Here, they're available to everyone at any time, and people don't do it out of choice. This is crazy.
Yeah, it is. Okay, Bob, it has been a pleasure talking to you. I'm gonna finish here our podcast and our YouTube channel. So thank you so much for accepting my invitation to be part of this kind of a project. Thank you, Bob.
Thanks for having me.